You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matt Gertz and Jesse Landers.
I like Mohegan. It's a nice little trip.
Yeah, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's definitely a nice casino.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, and I always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's probably the nicest casino on the East Coast, in my opinion.
What do you take on Atlantic City? I've never been there.
I like Atlantic City. It's gone downhill in the past couple years, especially with, the
Like it got damaged and whatnot, right?
Yeah, it's not as popular of a spot as it used to be.
There's a lot of places closing, from what I hear.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a ghost town a lot of the time. So
Okay. That's crazy. I missed the prime to go, I guess. Everybody was going there when we were kids, like, on vacation and stuff, and it was, like, not the place for a kid, but now that I'm an adult, it's not the place to go. I
mean, don't get me wrong, it's still cool, but, I mean, you could just fly to Vegas and do that as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, Vegas. We love Vegas, man.
Yeah, Vegas is fun.
We've had quite the amount of time in Vegas. Jesse more than I.
There's no place like it.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't mind living there for a little bit.
Absolutely.
I haven't explored enough of, like, Old Town, like, down by Fremont and all that as much as I've wanted to.
Yeah, we were down there for one night, and that was fun on the initial Vegas trip. Like, yeah, I always appreciate the history.
Yeah, Vegas, especially Fremont Street, is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen the zip line down there, but people flying down Fremont Street.
Yeah, yeah, right under that huge, like, LCD screen, basically, or whatever, right?
Yeah, yep.
That you're all walking under. That was amazing.
Yeah, things pretty cool.
Drunk and walk around under.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome to be able to drink and walk, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things. Like, we were always, like, getting drinks. Right after breakfast, it was free for all.
Now, you had also mentioned, though, before you wanted to say something about the first time you went to a hypnosis session recently, right?
Yeah. Well, originally, I think I just saw a video online about, it was like a stage hypnotist doing a show that you had talked about earlier. And it just really kind of sparked my interest for some reason because I never really believed in it. And the more I looked into it, the more I found that it isn't exactly what you see in those videos as far as stage hypnotists, though. But there's a lot of good that can come from it. And I did go to a hypnotist 2 days ago and was successfully hypnotized, which is pretty cool.
That is interesting. I've seen, as I mentioned before we started going here, I've seen hypnosis in progress when, like, someone came to my college and performed and brought people up on stage and stuff. But I've never done it myself. Now, as someone who's done it, well, what would you describe it as? A dream state? Like, what words would you say to describe what it's like to be hypnotized?
Well, the thing is like, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Like, you can't be hypnotized if you don't want to be hypnotized, right? And you can't, you can only go as deep into a trance as you want to and believe you can go deep. I've successfully hypnotized my girlfriend, and the way she describes it is, she is in a long tunnel and I'm at the other end, and she can hear me, but she can't really understand what I'm saying. And for some reason, the suggestions I give her, although they're ridiculous, she just takes them as truth. So then when I wake her up, she just does whatever I had told her to do. For example...
Whoa.
Yeah, well,
within reason,
disclaimer. Hold on. Let me rewind for a second. You won't do anything that you wouldn't normally do. You wouldn't do anything against your morals, your ethics, anything that you just wouldn't do on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, you'll do funny things if you're an outgoing person, but I couldn't tell someone to go, like, step out in front of a car. You know what I mean? But, like, for example, I told my girlfriend to forget her own name, and she couldn't remember her name when I brought her back. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I made her.
I mean, that's interesting. I wonder what kind of use you could put that to if you just let that slide for a while.
Yeah, well, I think, depending on the suggestion and how deep the person is in trance, the suggestions usually wear off fairly quickly. Now, you're supposed to wipe the suggestions clean during that session so they don't hold on to them. But even I don't know if you have ever heard of MK Ultra. It was a CIA kind of research into hypnosis and trying to hypnotize people to do missions, kind of against their will and whatnot.
I have heard some stuff about, or read some stuff about.
Yeah, I've heard it mentioned in
Ultra.
documentaries. Yeah.
Yes. So one of the big things that they were trying to do is kind of have hypnotized information, carriers, where they'd load someone's brain with, very confidential information. So they wouldn't know and wouldn't be able to recall the information unless someone unlocked it. But then they wouldn't even be able to remember it unless someone had hypnotized them again to get that information. So,
wow, that's
pretty
really
crazy stuff.
Yeah, it is nuts.
Yeah. Well, the military always has had like an investment inside of like mind control.
It definitely comes into play with espionage, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's 100% a real thing. Like, if you guys get to read into it, it's unbelievable the stuff that I've been learning about. I mean, even just to do it to my girlfriend, like, I had her spelling her name in numbers. Like, I made her forget the alphabet. So her name's Colleen. So she was like 4011339, and like she just could not. Yeah, like she could not spell her name, and she was just talking normal, like everything was okay.
Wow. That's some powerful stuff
wild.
You're working with. Some magic there.
Yeah, that's scary. Well, this is American Slacker Podcast. I'm Matthew. As always, we have Jesse here, and today we're joined by Anthony Serino, who is a good friend. I've known him for quite some time. He's a great guy, so he's not doing anything crazy, hypnotizing people, doing things against their will.
He is a warlock, though.
He is some type of magical person, so don't piss him off.
Sleep now.
But we've known each other for quite some time. I mean, we initially met basically, I think, when we both worked at the Eveready Diner. God, like a decade ago almost?
Yeah, I started working there in 2004.
Yeah, God, yeah. It's a nice little spot. It was featured on Food Network. And more importantly, I always thought it was like one of the best places to work because the kids, we always had like a tight friendship like between the people that worked there. There was always parties after work. It was great, like never worked at a place that was so tight like that.
Yeah, it was definitely, the camaraderie was awesome, and it was just a cool work environment because no one really took the job too seriously, but serious enough where everything ran pretty smoothly.
Yeah, nobody fucked around to where it affected like the production of everything. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like anybody could still go to the Christmas parties, which they throw the best goddamn Christmas parties ever.
I think I just saw those posted on Facebook by someone.
Yeah, I always get like an invite, and I'm like, I never go. I should go. Like we should go.
Yeah, that was this. It was this past Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got to work at the Eveready. I just enjoyed their coffee and almond horns. The little pastries.
God, there was tons of them under the counter there.
We're going there on drunken nights for grilled cheese and cheese fries. A lot of cheese involved.
Oh my God, disco fries! Everybody loved those.
There you go.
But nowadays, man, you're up to some craziness. You're basically an entrepreneur yourself, and what's your current business, man?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, I had a friend that was looking into getting a tattoo removed, and she had to go down to the city to get it done. And I was like, why isn't there anything around here? And she said there just isn't. So I kind of did some research over the next 12 to 18 months, and fast forward to today, and I own New Leaf Tattoo Removal Clinic, and we do laser tattoo removal, laser facials, we do age and sunspot removal. So it's been really interesting, being able to start my own business. Very rewarding, but also very stressful, and even lonely at times because It's not as appealing as people may think entrepreneurship would be. So it's been a roller coaster of emotions and stress and happiness and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, how much did you like? How long did it take you to even get to the licensing process? You know, like that probably took you a great amount of time alone, right?
Well, the funny thing is, in New York, you don't even need to be certified to use a laser.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's
Which
funny.
is
okay.
good. It's good and bad. But you do have to be certified in order to get insurance, because I need to have malpractice insurance. So
of course,
insurance companies won't insure you unless you know what you're doing. So I did go through the certification process, which was pretty extensive. You get trained on the specific laser that you buy, and you use, people volunteer, and it's just, the experience comes from working on people as much as you can sit down and read the manual and know what the protocols are. You have to, tailor everybody's treatment on a case by case basis. So it's been interesting.
Okay, like learn the different skin types and everything, and like, is there a difference there? Like,
absolutely. I can treat all skin types. I have to be more careful with people who are darker skin types because they have more natural pigmentation in their skin. And the laser is only attracted to pigment. So essentially what happens, I'll kind of go over what laser tattoo removal is and how it works, is the laser breaks up the ink into smaller particles so that your body can process it. Now, Matt, I know you have a couple tattoos, right?
yeah.
You've probably noticed that they've faded over time naturally.
Yeah,
Right?
not too bad, but they are starting to fade. So I can imagine, by the time like another 5-10 years goes by, they're gonna start to be very noticeable faded.
Absolutely, and that happens because our white blood cells are constantly attacking, the foreign entity, which is the tattoo ink. But the problem is those ink particles are too big in their natural state. So what the laser does is it breaks those ink particles into very, very small, manageable ink particles, so that your body can flush it out of your system effectively and a lot quicker than the natural process.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're basically just speeding up the natural process, essentially.
Absolutely, yep.
You're helping the
so it's
body
nothing
along
crazy.
to break it
You're
up.
not burning them out.
No. Yeah, technically, I'm not removing the tattoo. The body is removing the tattoo. So the healthier the person is, the faster the tattoo removal process is going to take, because most people need between 6 and 8 treatments scheduled 2 months apart. So it's a long process. So the healthier they are and the better they take care of their body, it's going to expedite everything.
Now, I saw one video you had posted, and it seemed like it had taken the tattoo away dramatically. Like, they could live with it like that or get it covered up, like, with a new tattoo without an issue at all. And I don't know if that was, like, the first session or if multiple in.
The video that I think you're referring to is, it's like a skull and chains on a guy's arm.
Yes. Yes, that's... Yeah.
That's been the video that's been the most popular. Now, what you're seeing there is kind of just the reaction from the laser. What happens is the laser gets attracted by the ink particles, and what happens is it creates a shock wave, and that shock wave is what breaks up those ink particles. When that happens, it creates a reaction that we call frosting, and that's what you see in the video, is the skin frosting where the ink is. So it's not actually fading. Fading occurs about 4 to 6 weeks after treatment.
Okay.
So that frosting will subside about 20 minutes after the treatment.
So the darkness will come back a little bit after that?
Well, yeah, actually the tattoo darkens even more over the next few days, and then it starts to lighten up.
Oh, have you ever had people that call you like, "Hey, man, this doesn't work, and you made my tattoo bright"?
Yeah, well, the first couple weeks I started, I didn't realize just how much the tattoos would darken back up. So I was getting quite a few people calling me, but now I just know to warn people beforehand so they don't freak out.
Now, one thing I was wondering, what is the pain like? Does it hurt while it's getting done, or is there pain after? Or
Now it's very painful. It's but the thing is it's yeah it's quick though. It's quick.
He's not gonna bullshit you, people.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
At least you're giving it straight.
I mean, most tattoos take less than 2 minutes for me to do. So
2 minutes of saying fuck, and you're basically good.
I mean, it probably took a lot longer to get the tattoo. So if you sat through
absolutely.
that, you can at least sit through 2 minutes.
Well, I'm assuming it's a hurt. It hurts a lot more than getting a tattoo, I'm sure.
you know when you get like bacon grease on you real quick.
Oh shit!
It's like 2 minutes of hot bacon.
Yes, but the thing is, once it's over, it's over. The pain instantly subsides.
Now I noticed that the facials too. That's like, is that a newer thing, or has that been going on for a while?
I've been doing the facials since I opened, but those facials they're called the Hollywood peel because I think they originated out in California. But a lot of celebrities get them done right before the red carpet because they're a zero downtime procedure, and you don't. There's virtually 0% chance of any side effects happening, and they're a great way. They're like 10 times more effective than a normal facial.
Okay, now is that like having the hot grease on your face the whole time?
No, it's virtually painless.
Okay. I just wanted to get a reassurance.
Would you say it's
on
primarily a more female clientele that come in for that, or do you see guys getting that as well?
I've had a lot of guys because it's not like, when you go for a normal facial, you like sit down, they like massage you, they put all this stuff on your face. This, I just slap you in the chair, put a carbon mask on you, and zap it off. And I think.
See, it sounds manlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the manly version of a facial.
It's like right down to business. Sit the fuck down. I'm gonna slap this on your face, and we're gonna zap.
Like,
it.
I'm gonna hit
it's
you
not
with
relaxing.
a laser. That sound cool? All right, sit down. It's pretty neat.
And you're playing some really badass electronic music in the background while you do it. I'd
No,
imagine.
Celine Dion.
I would request. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I would
Susan to the
request
soul.
some Dragon Force, if you will.
Yeah. Through the flames of fury, right? Isn't that the dream?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Playing that the licks on the guitar there. So I could see myself going for that. I would try it out because you know what? I'm man enough to admit that I'll wash my face with some of like the charcoal stuff that my girlfriend has. It's good to keep your pores and your skin clean. And that sounds like a pretty cool way to do it. It is a laser hitting you in the face, right?
But yeah, that's what I use. I use a charcoal powder.
Okay.
And I mix that with water. And what it does is when it dries on the face and it gets absorbed into your pores, we heat it up with the laser so it evaporates. And when it evaporates, it takes away the dead skin, makeup for the women, bacteria, oil, all that stuff, and really clears out your pores. And it takes off a very superficial layer of skin and leaves your skin like a baby's butt.
Ah, nice.
Huh.
That's
Very
cool.
nice. That is cool,
Yeah.
man. Now, with all this business, I mean, you're moving along into making a podcast on your own now.
Yeah, we like I was saying before, is just owning your own business isn't all it's cracked up to be a lot of the times. It's very stressful, and I think people should know that. You see a lot of these motivational speakers and they talk about entrepreneurship and kind of romanticizing it, and I think people just they have a rude awakening once they try to do it for themselves and realize that it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of sacrifices as far as friendships, relationships, and family go. So and we kind of want to give the raw perspective that we have to the young people who want to start their own business.
Well, we know you tell it like it is, so that'd be good. That's good to give people straight advice about what to look out for, possibly avoid some pitfalls that you may have experienced or know someone who's experienced throughout your time as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I know why these big, public figures romanticize it because that's what sells. The dream is what sells and makes them money. I'm not trying to make money off doing a podcast. So, I mean,
Right.
obviously if that happened, it would be great. But,
Right.
but I kind of want to just tell people, look, you're going to have to sit at the fucking town hall for 5 hours and wait for a sign permit on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like, like stupid, like stupid shit you would never expect. It's just like, you know,
The dirty paperwork that you got to deal with.
The back end things about owning a business. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And then like, you know, if you have to do a build out, you got to get a building permit, you got to do all that stuff. And it's just nonstop. You got to be your own accountant. You got to be your own, marketing expert. You got to be, you got to be everything at once. Especially until, eventually you hire people to do that. You delegate, but at first it's just you.
Yeah, until you get the profit. Yeah.
It's you
I
and
can imagine.
you and hopefully a good idea that'll keep you afloat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watch Shark Tank a lot, and there's a lot of bad ideas out there.
God.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad ideas. But hey, I admire anybody that is really passionate about something, even if the idea is stupid. They still had the balls to go out and take a risk, and I think that's 90% of the battle is just being able to jump, without knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people like just dream about that and they never really do that. They never take that leap, like you're saying. But it's like you can't just take that leap. You got to know what that leap means.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to know a little bit about where you're leaping
Yeah,
to.
but believe it or not, most of the time you think you know where you're going, and you have no idea. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a life statement in general.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And you were saying before how people could possibly fall into the roles of like, hey, I might try out this idea and find out that they might be good with leadership skills and stuff along those lines, but they can't necessarily run the business themselves, and they're better off
Yeah, I
in
think
the
people,
ranks, kind
yeah,
of.
I think some people are just made to be, a number 3 or a number 2 at a corporation, where some people are meant to run the corporation. You got to find what you're good at, what makes you happy. I mean, to me, it's not how much money you make, it's how you make it. You know what I mean? It's what's going to make you, happy waking up the next morning and excited to seize the fucking day and do your own thing. Like if that's sitting behind a desk and making your boss happy, then God bless. That's awesome,
Right?
Yeah. To each their own. And I mean, you're definitely onto something there. I mean, people are naturally like different personality based. I mean, people do fall into certain lines better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it'd be good to get the knowledge base that you seem to have. You're a multifaceted guy. You're gambling. You're hypnotizing women. You're you're running a business.
Also, you've also had a run in politics for a short time, man.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating. You're a young man, and you've already run for office. That's quite a feat.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny thinking about it when we're talking all about this at once, because people would probably be like, oh, this guy clearly doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do because he's tried everything.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah, you're not just jumping. No.
He did all of this in
Yeah.
2 years, people.
Yeah. We just want to cram. I mean, you're a very interesting guy, and we just want to kind of cram in like a little bit of everything you're up to, because it's interesting to people that are out of your spectrum,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thrive on like chaos and change. I think one of the biggest detriments to life is routine, in the sense that I feel like routine leads to complacency, which leads to time just passing by. So that's why I always try new things, because even if I fail, I tried it and it kind of just made shit more interesting. So, I ran for office because, my mom is state senator here now, and she kind of put that, community service bug into me at a very young age. And it's just cool to get to be able to help people on a government level, where that's kind of like your job, but it's a dirty game, politics. And, I learned the hard way, and I lost, unfortunately, when I ran for county legislator, but it was an experience. And, if I had won, I probably wouldn't have my own business right now. So, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you don't regret anything. I mean, that's quite an experience in life. Like you said, you've learned a lot from that. And again, like you're owning your own business. I mean, how could you? You know, you seem very proud of that. You have the right mindset for it. Obviously, you're willing to work twice, 3 times as hard to get it done.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. Like, honestly, right now, I'm not making any money. Like, technically, I'm not making anything. But to me, I've made it. I've already made it. Like, this is what my made it is, and I think everybody just has to find out what their I made it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, eventually you're still new. How long has your company been open, technically? You've only been open less than a year, right?
Oh, I've only been open for a couple months. Yeah,
You're doing pretty good from what I see on social media and everything, man. It's impressive to see the least. And I'm sure it's only going to get better, like you're saying, with the limit of how many of these facilities are available in New York in general.
Absolutely.
And how many bad tattoos there are.
That definitely helps.
A lot of bad tattoos there are. You know, I can't speak specifically about any clients that I have.
I know,
but there are. I've seen everything already.
Well, you did say, speaking of the success of the social media, you said you had over like 70,000 views or something on one of your videos.
Yeah, the video that Matt was referring to before had gotten 70,000 views in 2 weeks. You know. Like Matt said, it looks like the tattoo is fading right then and there. So it's a little misleading, but I do explain in a lot of the comments that's not what's happening. So I try to be as transparent as possible. But you know, tattoo removal is such a unique thing that a lot of people don't even know about it yet. So when they see it, they're like, "Holy shit, it works!" You know what I mean? So
yeah. It's intimidating, I'm sure.
Well, people think they're going to like come in here and I'm going to take a scalpel and like cut out their tattoo. You know what I mean? So when they see that it only takes 2 minutes and like after one treatment, they can have dramatic, you know, fading in their tattoo that they've had for the past 20 years, you know, they love it, you know, and it's going to be word of mouth because people are still skeptical. They don't think it works, but it does.
Oh yeah. I believe it from what I've seen on your post alone, let alone there's a ton of actual info out there now on the internet about it. So it's becoming a bigger thing. People are really getting to learn about it now. And, I mean, it's so beneficial. I mean, they're like we're talking about. Terrible tattoos are an easy choice if you've been drinking. I mean, we all know that person that's got a bad tattoo. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, and I'm so confident in my services that I got my logo tattooed on my arm, and I'm in the process of removing it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's commitment.
Dedication, man. I like that.
Yep.
A man who stands behind his product.
Yeah, I mean, I figured if I'm going to be doing this to thousands of people, I probably should see what it's like. And I never had a tattoo before, so I said, fuck it.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Now, have you had to remove anything in an inappropriate area?
I have.
We don't. Okay.
There's been a lot. There's been quite a few located in the cleavage.
Okay.
A lot of
coin slot that says "insert here" or something. I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe
a mountain climber on one, and one guy with like binoculars on the other, like little tiny dudes.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of names removed, or is it like generally like images?
I've gotten quite a few names. I've also gotten wedding rings.
Man.
That's sad. That's a sad one.
That's a sad one, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play like Seal in the background or something?
Oh, that's cold. That would just be wrong.
To make it even worse.
Little Nickelback.
Are those tears from the pain of the laser or the pain of your heart?
You know, and the thing is, I don't ask people why, you know, because I try to have a very professional environment here, and
nice.
A lot of people
seems that way.
A lot of people come here and they really regret their tattoo. The last thing they want to do is kind of like relive the experience of getting the tattoo. And I offer my services free for former gang members and victims of sex trafficking. So
Wow, that's really nice.
That's really nice, man. I've never heard that before from you or anybody or like any of your social media. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's been. I've worked with a couple gang members already, or not, former gang members rather. And obviously they don't, they kind of talk about it a little bit just because they know I do it for free, so they have to mention that they were in a gang.
Want to know they're not bullshitting for free tattoo removal.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I keep a reference of gang symbols that are, you know what I mean? Because I only do tattoos that are gang related. So if it's like a gang specific symbol or like the actual gang name itself, some of them have tattooed on.
Okay. Yeah, good. So a gangster can't come to you with like a Felicia on his neck and be like, yo, I need this gone.
I was part of the Felicias.
Although if he shows up and he's like, hey, 4 of my friends are outside, you better remove this tattoo, I'm probably going to do it for him.
Well, let's not get any gangsters' ideas here in case we're big and the MS-13 or something here.
Speaking of, that was actually he was from one of the MS-13 I removed.
That's one of the most dangerous ones, man, from El Salvador. They're no joke.
Yep, he was actually a cool dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
They usually are, but they're really fucking. Yeah, you don't want to go on the bad side. I'll tell you that.
Now, it kind of speaks to the name of your business because which I have to compliment you on. New Leaf, I appreciate that. That's a nice play on words there. Turning over the new leaf, starting over, starting fresh, getting the old tattoo removed. It's like you said before, you want to welcome them in and not and take away the bad experience and give them a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to say that the same way. But I also, did you do this all on your own? Did you have help crafting your image? How did you come up with New Leaf? Did you just brainstorm this one day or?
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is one of the things that took the longest was figuring out what I was going to name this place. First, originally it was going to be Blank Inc., blank INC, kind of like a play on words. But then I felt that was a little too gimmicky. I wanted something a little more professional. So my girlfriend and I were spitballing when she's like, turn over a new leaf. And then from there, I got New Leaf. And then I spelled it NULEAF. And it just rolled with it and kind of everything worked out. I mean, I worked with a design, I worked with designcrowd.com. I crowdsourced the logo, which worked out.
It's beautiful, yeah. It's fitting for you. It's clean. It's professional.
Yep. So and then from there, I mean, everything else has been me. I designed the whole office here. Our tagline is New Leaf, New You, which has worked out. We got some radio commercials on, which have been pretty successful. So.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, and I can't agree with you more, man. I really just love the image you're projecting of your company. It seems like you couldn't be doing better. And I think that's why you're seeing success is you've done it right, You put in the time and research and the development alone. Perfect.
Thank you. Yep.
I look forward to hearing from your podcast when it does get up and running. I'm kind of always interested in hearing the entrepreneur perspective or any other profession that I can kind of take and pick and choose from. Like you said before, I kind of enjoy the constant moving around, and chaos, if you will, of
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
You can't get too complacent.
Yeah, because people, they just get sucked in, and I would hate to look back 40 years from now and having worked a 9 to 5 and just getting nothing out of it. You know what I mean? That's. Like I said before, the days
get in the watch
are long.
That idea.
The days are long and the years are short. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people just feed into that idea of the typical we have to get that 9 to 5 and put in those years and retire, 65. And it's just you can make life whatever you want out of it, Do it logically, but I mean you can do anything. There's nothing stopping you, You don't have to just go work at a you don't have to be a teacher. You don't have to be whatever you initially chose because that's what you went to school for, or that's the career you picked initially. I mean, it's amazing.
And the thing is, you don't have to make $1 million a year. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks you have to be a millionaire. Most people don't even make $100,000 a year. Like, be realistic. Like, set your goals. If you want to make $200,000 a year, great. You're not going to make $1 million a year. I don't want to say you're not going to, but I mean, it's very.
They're
it's
not.
few and far between.
They're not gonna.
Yeah, and
you're not. Nobody listen to this podcast, most likely. If you are, hit us up on the social media and be like, "Fuck you, I'm rich, bitch." Like, 'cause that's interesting to me.
Start funding us. That'd be nice.
Yeah, cost us like fucking 100K or something if you're that rich. Come on.
No, and like you have to like I'm all about like dreaming, but like dream realistically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make that dream obtainable.
Yes.
Dream within your means.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are getting caught up into like ownership of shit, and it's like the older I get, the more I'm like, I want to travel, I want to experience things, man, and it's just like I don't even care about possessions anymore. As the older I get, like I'm just like I want to go, you know, and like do.
Sort of address your priorities as you age.
Yeah. I feel like people need to explore more, like get out of your comfort zone. Like I know that's like the typical saying, but it's like really do it, you know. Like I'm considering skydiving like in the next year or two. Like, and I'm deathly afraid of heights. But it's like I feel like that's I should just take the bull by the horns. Fuck it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, man. My one buddy tried to get me to do it like a few months ago, and I was just like, "Fuck you, fuck you." You know how I feel about heights.
You don't owe him money, do you?
No.
Okay. He gets you up in the plane, man.
Oh fuck!
That's
not a parachute. It's a backpack, asshole.
I thought it was weird. I was drinking from it, you know.
Damn, this is in the hydration parachute.
He hypnotizes you into thinking it's a parachute, and then you jump.
That's scary. Oh,
better hypnotize you into thinking you can fly too.
I feel like I need to learn more about this hypnotism because it's like I don't want to just like encounter somebody that fucking pulls some slick shit on me.
It sounds like you're a Jedi almost in a way.
Dude, I'm telling you, once you discover how to hypnotize somebody, as long as they're willing, like I've gotten to the point now, I can literally just, instantly induce my girlfriend into a hypnotic trance. I could like pull her arm, say sleep, and she's out. Like it's nuts.
Mid fight.
Now among very good idea. Now, among learning this, have you considered rerunning in politics and using this at your advantage? Maybe putting a few TV commercials out there, pulling something that's kind of incognito, but you're totally working the crowd.
Or just do the other candidate.
It's funny you say that because
the other candidate's just like, this Anthony Serino, he's the guy. I mean, I'm not even running anymore. This guy, just like this guy.
You will endorse me.
Well, most politicians are actually trained in hypnosis, believe it or not.
That's scary.
There's been a lot of studies based on even the speeches that are given. They're crafted in a way not only to create a subconscious confusion to kind of spike a person's interest, but also the cadence and the patterns are all led to hypnotize the masses. For example, Hitler was actually pretty much a master in hypnosis. He was trained by some of the best hypnotists in the world, and he basically rose from nothing because he was able to capture the minds of hundreds of thousands of people at one time.
Oh yeah,
I could imagine with the cadence and stuff in terms of like speeches and pulling the crowd in and sort of like then they're more susceptible to your message that you're trying to get across. I could definitely see that. I've seen a couple of political speakers in person, and it's definitely you get pulled in by the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like a good movie or a good TV show. That's literally like we're literally hypnotized by TV shows, by music. Like if you're watching something and you don't notice, you don't remember what happened around you while you were watching that TV show. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's the same thing as when you're in like a trance or like we talked about before when you're driving and you forgot that you drove the past 4 miles. Like you can't recall it. Like that's the same.
Yeah. Everybody's
encountered
aliens. That before. It's
aliens.
Such a strange feeling.
You've been abducted.
Yeah. whoa, those three, yeah, how did I get from point A to B here? That's crazy, you know, whether it's a little bit or whatever, yeah.
It's like my dad told me a story about how he was driving down a really like straight road across the country one time, and he just saw like a car that was flipped over, and it was like, how the hell did that person crash? And it must have been that, you know, they got fucking hypnotized by like just driving straight for miles on end and like ended up flipping their car over.
The road took him. The road took him, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to blare music and pump your AC or whatever you got to do to stay awake.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually fallen asleep behind the wheel once. And
dude,
it was
me
a very,
too. I will admit
very,
it. I will.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, quick blink. I don't know about you, but mine was like a quick, luckily a quick flash, and pulled over immediately and got out of the car and walked around, because, I mean, that's like the best thing you could do.
Well, Matt, you remember Meredith, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She was in the car when I fell asleep, and luckily she was there to wake me up.
Oh, wow. Man, thank God.
Yep. So
was that in your G Coupe?
No, that was in my Ford Explorer that I had, and it was going up Teller Hill by the Culinary.
Oh shit! So you're probably going at speed too. Like that's a pretty open road.
Yeah. So it was pretty insane because up to that point, I never understood how someone could fall asleep driving, like doing something. You know,
it's so weird, man. Because it's like, well, me in general, like if I'm not driving, I will fall asleep in a car. It's very soothing to me to ride around. I love it. I don't know why. It's like, so I definitely fall into the trance, like you're talking about, probably more than a lot of people do. Like, there's something about the smoothness of the road, the bumps, like, it's weird.
And then if you, like, pump the heat on top of that, you get nice and, like, warm.
Now, you add an exhaustion to that, you work a lot, you know, whatever, you've had a big day or big week, big month, whatever. I mean, it happens. I see people do it. Like, sometimes it's like there's almost no way to avoid it, but, like, it's like, shit, get out of the car, people, and walk around, or something.
Being hypnotized, it's the same state as right before you fall asleep. So the state that you're in between being awake and being asleep is the same trance that you're in if someone directly hypnotizes you. And it's just, you know, you're not, we say sleep like to get someone into a trance only because the people's minds in general have been accustomed to thinking hypnosis when they hear the word sleep. So when you spike someone's brain, like whether by pulling their arm and kind of, or confusing them and saying the word sleep, the brain just automatically says, oh, I know how to do that. And then you deepen that trance by, you know, talking and, you know, kind of sending them even deeper. It's very interesting. I mean, there's a lot that I obviously don't know. This is something new to me, but it's been pretty interesting.
Oh, it's fascinating, man. It's like mind control in the natural form, and it's exploring the human consciousness. I mean, because it's like a subconscious element, and it's crazy.
Well, that's the crazy part, is that like when you hypnotize somebody and you're talking to them, you're not talking to their conscious mind. You're talking to their unconscious mind, which is the most bizarre thing. Yeah.
It's like a Jekyll and Hyde scenario going on.
Yeah, like you're talking about taking away the alphabet knowledge of like when you're messing with your girlfriend. That's insane, man, to like actually mess with the programming of like what's going up there, like the hardware of your natural mind. Like,
dude, next time you're with one of your friends, or both of you, if you're with one of your friends and you can tell them, put their hand on a table, right? You have them put their hand on a table and just tell them to focus on the back of their hand and tell them to imagine just a glue between their hand and the table, and to imagine what their hand would feel like being stuck to that table. And just keep, you know, and you can talk them through that imagery, and you can make it as powerful as you want, just describing how that glue is hardening. And then you can tell them to try to lift their hand, and the harder they try to lift it, the harder it gets stuck to the table. And if they have a good imagination, their hand is literally stuck to the table, like 100% stuck to the table.
Now, is there a scenario where you can't get that hand up?
No, because
it's like, wait, no, you're good, man. And they're like, I can't fucking move it.
No,
what did you do to me?
No, because all you have to be is like, as soon as I snap my fingers, your hand will instantly release. So I'll snap my fingers, but then once I snap my fingers, I can be like, as quickly as your hand is released, you've now forgotten the number between 3 and 5, and they instantly forget the number 4.
crazy.
So, and that's not even putting them in a trance. That's actually being awake. Just talking to somebody.
Just like messing with them.
Yeah. So then you can be like, count your fingers, and they're like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and they're like, what?
That's awesome. I'm giving that a try tomorrow,
Dude. I'm telling you, if you can get people's hands to stick to the table, it's the funniest thing in the world.
All right, people, everybody listening, with great power comes great responsibility. Don't just go doing this. Be careful.
Just do it to your boss, and then make him agree to some sort of pay raise.
Yes, get a raise, get a better bonus. Do what you got to do out of this.
Or
then unstick that hand.
Yeah.
And I'm not working Saturdays anymore, or you're gonna like this table for a long time.
Wide awake now.
Yeah, there you go. So what the listeners don't know is we've been slowly hypnotizing them throughout the entire podcast.
Yes. So you're going to tell everybody you know about American Slacker Podcast
Now.
to listen to American Slacker Podcast. Get at us on the iTunes. Give us like a 5-star rating. Buy T-shirts as soon as they're available.
Hopefully in the new
we're
year.
getting crazy now.
Well, that's probably brings us to about the end of the show, I'd say, right?
That's what I was thinking, man. Anthony, thank you so much for coming on, man. And we can't wait for the release of your podcast. As soon as you're up and running, we're going to throw you shout-outs and get you going. Get people that listen to us to check you out, hopefully.
Awesome.
I find it fascinating, man. I'll be definitely downloading your episodes, listening to them. I'm always checking out new podcasts. And what better topic, man?
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a blast.
Happy to have you. Do you have any social media plugs you want to throw out? Newleaf.com or anything?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If anybody's interested in tattoo removal, you can check us out at newleaflaser.com. It's nuleaflaser.com. And there's a lot of information on there. And definitely check us out on Facebook as well. Always posting videos and content on Instagram and whatnot. And it's pretty interesting. So,
and we'll be sure to to share that on our Facebook as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
We'll
Thank you.
Yep. And that's anybody in the Northeast, basically, of America can come out and see you, right? I mean, you don't have to be just in New York.
the northeast
So
of
most
America.
of Canada,
The northeast of America, and some, southeast of Canada.
I mean, I have people.
Anybody can come see you, I guess, right? If somebody wants to come from Africa, they can fucking see you, right?
I mean, I've had people travel from 3 hours away just for an appointment. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we're never gonna have you on the show again. And,
Damn.
just so you know. Dick. No, I'm just kidding. I love you.
We haven't blacklisted anyone
from the show
yet.
Ever. I was telling Jesse how I thought you should have been a comedian because you always had some pretty good jokes that cracked me up, and your social media, man. I mean, I feel like your social media was gold. You would have these
I've had to tone it down. I've had to tone it down a lot.
Yeah, you were getting pretty crazy there. Your one-liners would be like the highlight, man. I'd be like, damn. That's pretty fucking solid. How does he come up with this consistently? Like, damn.
I'm sure I've stole a lot of stuff too, inadvertently.
I don't
It's
know,
the name
man.
of the
I'm
game
still
these
saying,
days.
if you once you get this laser mastery, you should expand and become an on-the-road comedian, or get into the movies, maybe.
Well, I'm just going to be a stage hypnotist /
That'd be
comedian.
good.
Oh God! Now you're getting
That'd be
scared.
really good.
And then he goes back to politics, and we all love him because we all saw him. I mean, come on.
Wide awake now.
All right, people, get at us, American Slacker Podcast.wordpress.com. Also, you can check us out at Facebook and Instagram, American Slacker Podcast.
And we are also AMER. Sorry, I always have to remember the letters. It's AMERSLKR podcast on Twitter and on Reddit. And
Yes.
I'm done talking about Reddit. I'm not going to talk about it at length anymore.
You're talking about it, so like.
I mean, I guess so.
We'll edit that out. Out.
Yeah, we could. Hey, we could edit that out. We could, but
Yeah,
probably
we
won't.
could.
So, I mean, What are you the rest of the end of the year's coming up?
Yeah. What? Wait.
End of the year's coming up. End
Oh,
of the
yeah.
podcast
This is the last episode of the year.
That's it. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there
I
before
feel like we
ended
should,
it.
special. Like, yeah. Like, anything you want to say, Anthony, about the end of the year, about 2016? Like, any wishful
Wait,
statements?
is this the encore?
This is like
This is the encore.
This
This is like the end of the year special. This is like when they did the Star Wars holiday special.
we might have one more episode before this, but this will be the last one of the year.
I mean, speaking of Reddit, do you guys do the Reddit Secret Santa?
No, we're new to. We're fairly new to Reddit, both of us.
Dude, I did the Reddit Secret Santa for the first time this year. It's pretty cool.
It's like a bunch of Redditors sending presents around.
Yeah, it's there's like over 100,000 people that sign up, and you get matched with anybody in the world. Like, there's a lot of celebrities that do it. Like, I know Bill Gates participates, and you kind of just, you read their profile that they send you, and you just send them a pretty cool gift. I sent my guy some workout stuff because he was like a big, bodybuilder type of dude. My person sent me some Office memorabilia because I really like The Office. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Office is one of my favorite shows of all time, if not my favorite show.
I have a Schrutz Beats Farm shirt in my closet.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I actually have the box set because this guy right here didn't want to bring it with him across country, and I was like, I can't let you leave that behind, my friend.
That's where that shirt.
I took it.
That's where that shirt came from.
Well, I appreciate the box set in case internet goes down any day.
Yeah, right.
I'll always have The Office
In case it's never on Netflix.
in case it's never on Netflix, which I've watched an obscene amount of times.
So we'll have to get in on the Reddit Secret Santa next year. Maybe we can do it as the podcast. That'd be fun.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be
All right,
awesome.
people. Well, I think it's time. I think it's that time again. That's it.
And there you go. Keep the change, you filthy animals.